Hello, my name is Sando Giambo, the CEO and Executive Director of the United Nations Global Compact. Today, I'm pleased to introduce the UN LGBTIQ+ Standards Gap Analysis Tool, which guides companies in tackling discrimination against lesbian, gay, bi, trans, intersex, and queer people. The tool is anchored in the UN Standards of Conduct for Business Tackling Discrimination against LGBTI people, and it is developed by the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights and supported by the UN Secretary General. Building off the success of our Women's Empowerment Principles Gender Gap Analysis Tool, the UN LGBTIQ+ Standards Gap Analysis Tool was developed together with our partners, BSR, the Partnership for LGBTI Equality, the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner of Human Rights, and the World Economic Forum, and with support from Boston Consulting Group. It aims to help businesses advance equality by identifying strengths, gaps, and opportunities across the workplace and beyond. All too often, LGBTIQ+ people in all regions of the world suffer from violations and abuse of their human rights. This new tool is designed to help companies to do their part to counter such abuses and to promote inclusion. Thank you.
So hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us here and welcome to the launch event of the UN LGBTIQ+ Standards Gap Analysis Tool. We have an excellent group of speakers today that have been working towards LGBTIQ+ equality in their own companies, as well as the voice of civil society. So let's just jump right in. To introduce myself, I'm Elisa Magalhães. I'm an associate with BSR. I'm proud to support the Partnership for Global LGBTI Equality, PGLE. It's a collaborative initiative that brings together organizations across sectors, including the private sector, the OHCHR, and civil society to advance LGBTI equality. So perhaps just to start off, as the tool we're launching today is rooted in the UN Standards for Conduct of Business on Tackling Discrimination against LGBTI people, maybe we can start with Maria from Outright Action International to talk a little bit about why the standards are significant to the larger advancement of LGBTI equality and inclusion.
Thank you. So Outright, for those of you who don't know, the organization is a 30-plus-year-old organization fighting for LGBTIQ equality and human rights of LGBTIQ people globally, everywhere. And so the way that we think of the standards that we were very happy to provide input to when they were developed, and now as the tool is being launched, are critical. Like, all parts of society are needed to come together to really secure the rights of LGBTIQ people. And I mean, we see this, there are so many places around the world where there are a lot of challenges. There are almost 70 countries that still criminalize same-sex relations. There are many more where people are discriminated, persecuted, facing violence, and sometimes even death because of who they are. And so involving the private sector and companies to take a clear stand for LGBTIQ equality is essential. I mean, for those of us who, work in the private sector, this is where we spend a lot of our time. So making sure that you can be who you are in the workplace is one thing, but companies, of course, also play a role in larger society and have an influence on how a society develops. So ensuring that companies are on board and companies can express those values privately and publicly is really a big part of changing the world.
Thank you. That's great to hear. So speaking of private sector and companies, we have two wonderful representatives from the private sector here today. And I'll pass over perhaps to Simon first. How can you talk a little bit about how the standards have guided you as you shape your company's approach to LGBTI inclusion?
Hi, I'm Simon Haig. I'm the global lead for transformation for LGBTQI, and I work for Kerry Group. This role is in addition to my day job, and we really built our policy and our way of working from the grassroots. So we're a group of of people that came together in a resource group and changed the face of the way that we work. And like, we don't have a background in HR, we don't have a background in policy and human rights, but we wanted to make it better for the people that work in our business. We have 26,000 people across 130 different countries, and we came together to really kind of make a step change this year for the Pride celebrations. We weren't just celebrating, we were making a fundamental difference. And the best way we knew how was to use the global leading standards, which is the UN standards, and to look at them and see how we can start to build a plan against the 5 pillars to really grow and to develop our strategy. So we believe that we have great policies in terms of the human rights and the base standards, and we've all got room to improve. But the areas around acting in the public sphere and some of the other pillars as part of the overall standards really helped us to broaden and to build up our plan. We're very new on the journey. We signed the pledge in May, and we joined the PGLE in June. And for us, the two are complementary for each other. And this tool and the new developed tool, as a PGLE's new member, will help us to continue our journey to getting better.
That's great, thank you. And we're very happy to have you as part of PGLE, so welcome on board. Let's go to Claire next, and maybe you can talk a little bit about how you anticipate that this tool will help you better align your practices against the UN standards.
Thanks. So hi, everybody. Claire Irie. I'm Associate General Counsel at the Procter & Gamble Company. And for those who may not know, the Procter & Gamble Company makes your favorite brands like Pantene, Ariel, Crest, or Pampers. And we've been a company that we've been around for over 180 years. And we have looked at LGBTI inclusion and advocacy, and we really have looked at that as built on the example that have been set by our people. You know, we have individuals who've used their voice to fight intolerance, tackle bias, and put themselves at risk for equal treatment and protection. And what is so great about the UN standards as a tool and the tool, being a human rights practitioner and developing our Respecting Human Rights program at P&G, the tool brings together all the work that has been done in equality and inclusion over the years and builds on the internationally recognized Respect for Human Rights Foundation. And for those who may not know, human rights are basic rights and freedoms inherent in all of us, and they are aimed at securing dignity and equality for all. So with the standards and the foundation, it enables companies to understand that respecting human rights is fundamental to how you manage your business. It's not a must-have or a nice-have, but it's essential. And therefore, developing a program that respects the rights of LGBTI inclusion and advocacy is essential. And it's something that is not just seen as a program, but it's seen as how do you embed respecting the rights of all people into your day-to-day operations. So the tool provides a great way of looking at all the different standards and figuring out where are you on the journey of developing your end-to-end program and helping you build, and not only build your own, but then share with others who may not have had as much experience on how they can build their own program to respect the rights of LGBTI people.
Great, thank you, Claire. So Maria, as a human rights practitioner yourself, I'm sure you have thoughts on the importance of operationalizing the standards here as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think the standards, they are an expression of what you want as a company. You sign up and you take a stand, and that is in itself, I think, incredibly important. But it's in a way, it's a first step. It's a commitment to a journey. And I think the point of the tool is to help companies along that journey. And as someone from civil society, I'm sure we often play the role of saying, you know, you're not good enough, you need to do more. And I think that's part of what we do. We hold high standards, we have high aspirations. But I think for a company entering the journey, it's realizing that it's something step by step. And there is no perfect goal to achieve. It is always going to have to be a journey. And I think having that tool to help make it part of daily operations is key, because it's not something, oh, you sign up and then you're kind of done. It is something that you have to do every day, and I want to say year in and year out, because every society, every country, every setting at this point is unequal. And so to achieve that equality that the standards express the goal for, it is something that's going to have to take, it's something that you have to start now and that you have to keep doing. And that in itself is the goal, to see this as ongoing work. And so the tool is really there to help that journey. That's how I see it.
I think that's a great point, and thanks for calling out also the ambitiousness of the tool. That's definitely something that we recognize. So I'd like to go over to our private sector reps here and ask, what are some of the reasons that you would, why are some of the reasons that you would encourage other companies to go down this route and take the tool and work on the standards?
So I think the first thing I would say is just to build on the 2 points that I mentioned. So we're on the start of our journey. We've launched our new strategy, our Beyond the Horizon strategy, talking about nourishing food and making life better and better tasting for people. And we're on our journey. We're at the start of our journey. P&G are much further ahead than we are, but the tool is as useful for the businesses on the start of the journey as it is for the ones that are much further with historical track records of acting in this space. But Maria's point about doing something first, taking that first step, making that first commitment is so important. So for me, signing the UN standards is kind of the first step on the journey, that commitment that you want to do something to do better, that you want to start a journey to improve. The UN tool, or the new tool that's launched, then builds on that to tell you, okay, where are the gaps? Where are the bits that you can learn from other companies? Where are the track record and the history that you can tweak and you can utilize to help you to continue that journey? But once you've made that commitment, the tool helps you to kind of continue that journey. And I would say, don't use it as a reason not to sign up in terms of concern about the amount of work or that aspiration or that North Star. It's about going step by step, improving year on year, month by month, day by day, and having the kind of the courage to kind of take that first step on the journey.
And I think it's great to talk about the journey. As I see it as we are always on a journey. We're always on a path of learning and developing. You can't stop. You can't say I've achieved, inclusion for all. I mean, it's just a constant way of moving forward, a constant way of gathering information and learning and sharing it with others so that they can learn. And I think what the tool provides is that reference point. There is so much information available to us. The tool brings it all together in a very clear, understandable way of, here are the 5 standards for a program. Here are some questions for you to think about in developing that standard. And I think when we have, companies that don't have the resources, don't have the technology or the expertise, they can go to this and look and say, there have been a lot of companies and civil society who've come together and really thought about the questions to this tool. This will be a place where I can show my leadership or my organization. We don't have to go attend all these other meetings. We can start here and really learn and figure out what do we need to do. And if it's easier to start on just your discrimination policies, start there. I mean, every step that you make makes us all better. And I think that's what people have to, is that it's learning, we're moving forward, and everyone should feel passionate about this, because I think it's for all of us every day. As Maria was saying, we all have to do this and we all have to work against it. So the tool for me is really my reference guide, my way to think about the questions I should be thinking, the questions I should be posing to management, because things will change. Conversations will change and definitions will change. And we have to continuously update the work that we're doing so that we're always in front of the issues that we face. So that's why I like the tool, is that there's a lot of great thinkers who have come together to develop it. And then I can utilize their experience to kind of move my program forward.
Great point, Claire. Thank you. So we are just about at time, and I would love to give the word to any of our speakers that have final thoughts to take us out.
I think it's important to know that this is universal and it can be used anywhere in the world. So it's not something to think, oh, it's only in particular countries, it's only a particular kind of company that can join. This really is something for the private sector and for companies globally. And I really would want to encourage all companies to start their journey by signing up to the standards and start implementing the tool.
I think I was just going to say, in terms of making that initial step, having the courage to start the journey, and as Claire so eloquently put, it's about the continual learning and that continuation of moving forwards. And you're not going to get it right all in the first time, but that tool brings together the knowledge and experience of so many people who have long-term knowledge in the area to give you the questions, the pillars, and also the steps that you can take to get better. And this is a journey. It's something that's going to take time, and it's something that we're all continually doing, no matter where you are on that kind of the range of time.
Yeah, and I would just say respecting human rights and all the work that goes into it is an enormous challenge. And progress made through this journey of learning is only going to be with collaboration, engagement with stakeholders and other people like the ones that we're meeting here today. So take it as a opportunity to be together and to learn and to move yourself forward and to utilize a really good tool that's easy to use, easy to access, and that can help all of us get to a more equal and free world.
Thank you so much. Very well put. And with that, thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate it. We encourage companies out there to use the tool, test it out, and let us know what you think. And we will pass over to our friends at OHCHR to give us some closing remarks. And thank you, everyone.
Introducing the UN LGBTIQ+ Standards Gap Analysis Tool. Created as a joint project of the United Nations Global Compact and Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, with support from Partnership for Global LGBTI Equality and many others, and in collaboration with the World Economic Forum. This first iteration of the tool provides a learning platform to help companies identify strengths, gaps, and opportunities to improve their performance on LGBTIQ+ equality in the workplace. The tool's self-reported survey spans 20 questions, grounded in the UN Standards of Conduct for Business, tackling discrimination against LGBTI people. These aim to foster equality in all workplaces for LGBTIQ+ employees and the broader community. Go to lgbtiq.unglobalcompact.org. To start, create an account by entering your contact information and relevant information on your company. If applicable, a corporate group can be created to register subsidiaries or regions that will be using the tool. Once registered, log in and click to begin the survey. The tool's 20 questions are broken into 4 categories, covering best practices in LGBTIQ+ equality across the UN standards, including 1. In how they operate at all times, 2. In their workplace, 3. In how they engage in the marketplace, 4. In how they engage with the broader community. At first, each question displays a no or yes response. If no is selected, a drop-down allows respondents to indicate whether their organization may plan to take action in the future. If yes is selected, another drop-down allows respondents to indicate additional details across management stages, providing additional detail on the level to which their organization has committed, implemented, measured, or provided transparency into enacting each standard. At any time, respondents may save their progress to return to the survey at a later time. Upon completion of the survey, respondents may view and download a report of their progress against the UN standards. While translated into an aggregate numerical score, the tool also breaks down scores by category and management stages, offering insights into key areas of strength and targeted areas for improvement. Participants are encouraged to use the tool for internal reflection and learning on how to continually improve LGBTIQ+ equality in their workplace. We welcome you to begin using the UN LGBTIQ+ Standards Gap Analysis tool today by going to lgbtiq.unglobalcompact.org. Thank you for your support, in promoting LGBTIQ+ equality in your workplace and beyond.
Thank you for joining us for today's session on the new gap analysis tool on the United Nations Standards of Conduct for Business on tackling discrimination against LGBTI people. The private sector has a critical role to play to respect the rights of LGBTIQ+ people within your own operations and supply chains, but also to support positive changes in social attitudes, laws, and policies towards LGBTIQ+ people, as highlighted in the 5 standards of conduct. Your efforts can make a real difference and help end the widespread violence and discrimination that LGBTIQ+ people still face in every region. At United Nations Human Rights, we are thrilled to partner with the UN Global Compact, the World Economic Forum Partnership for Global LGBTI Equality, companies, and civil society to launch this new practical tool to help guide companies in the implementation of the standards, identifying areas of strength and further growth, and the many opportunities to partner with civil society. We encourage you to learn more and try out the new tool on the website of the UN Global Compact. If your company has not done so already, we also encourage you to express support for the UN Standards of Conduct through the website of the Partnership for Global LGBTI Equality. Together, we can build a more free and equal world for everyone, no matter who they are or whom they love. Thank you.